this crowd. I mean, I just can't get over it.
This crowd, has stuck around throughout all the rain today. I mean, you really, once there was some severe weather that came through, you had to chase them away. But the proof's in the pudding, the fact that they came back and they're all sitting here ready to watch this 200-lap race here tonight. This is, again, I will say that some of the best race fans I've ever seen are right here in the Hampton area.
That's right. And drivers, we do need you for pre-race festivities at this time. Drivers to the left side of the stage. That's a good sign, Kip, because that means we're just about ready.
That's exactly right. Talking about the fans, the one thing I noticed that you guys brought in for this particular race are the sections of stands that you put in turn 3 at the entry and at turn 4 on the exit. What a perspective that's going to give a fan. You're going to have some fans that want those stands to come back on a regular basis.
I bet you're right, because one of the coolest vantage points was actually one of your events that we saw. We had a camera put up on a scaffold there in turn number 3, and just the vantage point of seeing those cars down the backstretch and really looking through the front glass of the race cars. You saw those drivers sawing on the steering wheel. I got a true perspective of how fast these cars were going and just how much work these drivers are putting into it.
When you find out how short the straightaways are here too, because of the fact that they never really truly get straight when they come off of one corner and head down a straightaway and head into another.
That's right. Looking forward to that. We do need a vehicle moved. Really, we need your help with this. It's a Virginia license plate TMH-2083. That is a red Santa Fe, and the outside gate where the crews park, that vehicle will be towed, so we're trying to help you before it gets towed. Again, it's a red Santa Fe, Virginia license plate TMH-2083. If you could help us by moving that vehicle before it is towed, we'd appreciate that. All right, so drivers have been called to the pre-race show, and that means we're just about ready to give it a go. Adam Welbrock, Buck Roos down on the front stretch now, and Buck, I bet it's a madhouse down there right now.
We do have a lot of people down here. Just finished going and getting the big checks so we can write those at the end of the evening. Actually, one of them's already been made out to Mark Works for the pole award, so congratulations to him. He'll be accepting that during pre-race festivities. $500 extra going to the 55 machine by doing that for the Acredale Vending Pole Award, so congratulations to that team. And they'll be getting that. But like you said, it is a madhouse down here. A lot of the folks from the other teams having fun. Mayor Tuck, how you doing, sir? So Brendan Queen standing down here with the gentleman he qualified next to at North Wilkesboro that started his entire endeavor going through everything, having some fun. Mayor Tuck, how you doing, sir?
Yourself?
Doing amazing right now, sir. So we ready for some fun?
Well, I didn't know. Oh, we're here. Well, let me just say we're excited. We're really, really excited. And, back in 2016, after 67 years of straight years of competitive racing, this facility went dark. And so in March of 2017, the City Council and Bill Mullis came to agreement to turn the lights back on here. And it's been wonderful because we realized the importance it is to Hampton residents who are racing fans, as well as to individuals throughout the region, that this is a place to be on a Saturday night. And Bill Mullis and his team here have not disappointed. They, in fact, have raised the level of competition here. They have improved the facility. This is just a grand evening for the 16th Hampton Heat.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for everything, Mayor Tuck. And I'll tell you what, folks, looks like we're getting ready to start introducing some drivers, and we're going to start with one of the things Vaughn Crittenden has put together here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. And I believe we're getting ready to turn everything over to our master of ceremonies in a few moments. See Rod Fitzwell standing back here. And Vaughn, I think we're just about ready, buddy.
Yeah, so Justin up in the tower. Let's change these lights and let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this party started!
Good evening, race fans!
Yeah.
Can you hear me? All right, here we go. we'd like to welcome you to Larry King Law's Langley Speedway for the 16th Annual Hampton Heat. At this time, please welcome the owner of Langley Speedway, Bill Morris.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hampton, Virginia. I'm sorry about the rain. I'm sorry about the delays, but we were doing the best we could to get this thing in, let these drivers qualify, have a little work session. But I know y'all are anxious to see Hampton Heat, and I appreciate the support of everybody. City of Hampton, we love you. NASCAR, race fans, and late model stock car racers, you're number one in my book. Let's go racing.
Thank you, Bill. Now put your hands together for South Boston Speedway General Manager Brendan Brown.
Hello, everyone. What a crowd here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. I'm sure a lot of you joined us for the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 just a few short weeks ago. It is going to be an absolute barn burner here tonight. Thank you for sticking out the rain here. A sold-out crowd at Langley here in Virginia. It's such a special moment here tonight. We are so thankful at South Boston Speedway to be representing the Virginia Triple Crown here tonight, and we cannot wait to get this show started. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the show.
Brandon. Now please welcome the Mayor of Hampton, Virginia, the Honorable Donnie Tuck.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Hampton City Council, our city staff, and certainly the residents of the city of Hampton, we want to thank you for coming out for this evening's 16th Hampton Heat. This is such a spectacular event, and we just want to thank you for your forbearance for sitting through a 3-hour rain delay. But we know tonight's race is going to be really, really exciting, and we're looking forward to it. Bill Mullis, you and your team here at Langley, you've done a great job. It's been a great partnership, and we look forward to continuing that relationship. Thank you again.
We will wave the grease flag and start tonight's Hampton Heat. Hampton Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray.
Like right here.
Starting this year, we are introducing a new Hampton Heat tradition. To kick off our festivities tonight, please welcome, to light the Hampton Heat Trophy, the winner of the 2023 Hampton Heat, Brendan Butterbean Queen.
Come here, it's my only chance.
And now, the starting lineup for tonight's Hampton Heat. Starting in the 35th position, driver of the number 78-1 Mexican Cafe and Cantina Chevrolet from Haynes, Virginia, Atlee Weiss. Rolling off in the number 34, rolling off 34th and driving the number 95 Bay Area Glass Chevrolet from Norfolk, Virginia. Put your hands together for Danny Harrell. Starting in the 33rd position, in the 01. In the 01 Jersey Mike Subs Chevy from Midlothian, Virginia, J.R. Waldrop. Starting 32nd, driving the 09, the O'Neill Engineering Service Chevrolet from Midlothian, Michael Rogers. Driving the number 91 Carroll Automotive Toyota from Williamsburg, Virginia, Terry Carroll. Starting in the 30th position, driving the number 91 Jerry's Auto Repair Chevrolet from Williamsburg, Virginia, Justin Carroll. Starting 29th, driving the number 8 Draper Lumber Company Chevrolet from Mebane, North Carolina, Thomas Scott. Rolling off in the number 28 behind the wheel of the number 2 Crossroads Harley-Davidson Chevrolet from Oak Ridge, North Carolina. Put your hands together for Brandon Pierce. Next up is the driver of the number 72 Dean Automotive Chevrolet from Shawboro, North Carolina, Dean Shiflett. Climbing into the number 9 tonight, Corbin's Plumbing Services Chevrolet from Yorktown, Virginia, Aiden Millett. Starting 25th and driving the 15 mainline Ford from Mechanicsville, Virginia, Logan Clark. Rolling off in the 24th position, climbing behind the wheel of the number 88 Mercury Mulch Chevrolet from Hampton, Virginia, Jacob Derrick. He starts number 23 today in the number 99, but number 1 in your heart, the Equipment Share Toyota from Pocosin, Virginia, Craig Estep. Starting in the 22 position, the 22nd position is the driver of the 31 Rocky Run Farm Chevrolet from Fredericksburg, Virginia, Cole Bruce. Rolling off in the 21st position, piloting the number 55 Mobile One Toyota from Mooresville, North Carolina, Gavin Moschel. He'll start in the 20th position, driving the number 77 KevinSaysYes.com Chevy from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Trevor Ward. In the number 19 position, starting 19th in the number 0 Williams Logging Toyota from Amelia, Virginia, Landon Pemberton. Starting 18th and climbing behind the wheel of the number 3 Ray A. Williams Custom Home Chevrolet from Powhatan, Virginia, it's Trey Williams. Starting 17th, driving the number 5 Creedmoor Forest Products Toyota from Zebulon, North Carolina, Carter Langley. Starting 16th, driving the number 41 RC Paving Ford from Chesapeake, Virginia. Put your hands together for Woody Howard. Starting 15th for tonight's race, behind the wheel of the number 23, Velasta Chevy from Fulshear, Texas, Cade Brown. Starting tonight in the 14th position, driving the number 47 S, the 23 Holdings Pontiac from Norfolk, Virginia. Yes, Riley Music, ladies. Virginia, Connor Hall. Starting 4th, driving the number 2 Dave Kahn and Waltz Engineered Sales Chevy from Carrollton, Virginia, Matt Waltz. Starting in the 3rd position, behind the wheel of the 00, the Medak Corporation Chevy from King William, Virginia, Chase Burrow. Now starting on your front row tonight, the number 03 Folsom Fence Supply and Best Repair Company Toyota from Chesapeake, Virginia. Make some noise for last year's winner, Brendan Queen. And starting from the pole position for the 15th annual Hampton Heat, in the number 55, CorvetteParts.net and JJ Clearing and Demolition Chevy from Chesapeake, Virginia. Let's hear it for Mark Wirtz! And there you have it, fans. Those are your drivers for tonight's 16th annual Hampton Heat.
Yep, just hang tight. We got to get drivers themselves ready. So you're good for a moment.
That is the starting lineup. That's the starting lineup for the Hampton Heat 200. We have met the stars that'll make up this 35-car field. 20 Chevrolets, 7 Fords, 7 Toyotas, and 1 Pontiac. And that driver right there, Mark Wirtz, has the best seat in the house. He'll roll from the pole position. Kip Childress up in the tower with me. Kip, this is going to be a long, grueling 200-lap race. This isn't your typical 50-lap or 100-lap Saturday night program. This is 200 trips around a 4/10-mile oval.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to disagree with you. You said Mark's going to have the best seat in the house. I truly think that you and I probably have the best seats in the house tonight.
I think we've got an awesome view up here to see the entire racetrack, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to have fun calling it. We're not going to be as nervous as they are in the cockpits.
Speak for yourself.
We're going to have some fun here this evening, but we documented this early. 200 green flag laps. Caution laps will not count in this event. We'll get a stoppage at or around lap 100. The midway break, 15 minutes. Drivers can climb out of their cars. Teams can make adjustments on the cars. You just can't change tires. You can move tires around. You can't change them. And then they'll come back out for that final 100-lap segment. But you and I chatted. You don't go out and hit the go button early on because you'll abuse those tires.
Yeah, I think the first part of this race, you go out and find out what your car wants to do and what changes that you need to start making notes for when you do have that 15-minute break coming up after lap 100. So it'll be there'll be some racing that'll be going on for sure, because they certainly don't want to fall back in there's too many cars to get mired back in the pack. So you're going to want to make sure you position yourself well. Take some good notes, be ready for those changes at lap 100, and then Katie bar the door after that.
And let's talk about that, because you brought up a very good point. 35 cars on this short track. I don't care if you're at the front, middle, or back of the pack, you're going to always be in traffic here tonight. So how important is it for your leaders to be careful in lap traffic?
Yeah, you hear, or you used to hear, you don't so much anymore, but you used to hear that aerodynamics doesn't come into play at a short track. I think that now more than ever you find out that they do. You see the teams work on their cars. You see how they mount these bodies, and you hear them say time and time again, keep the nose clean, keep the fenders on it. It's one thing to do that to maintain the integrity of the race car, but you want to do it because you want to have that front downforce. You want to be able to take advantage of clean air when you can have it, and you can't do that if the nose is knocked off the race car.
Very good points. Things we'll be watching all evening long. And we'll be seeing it unfold here in Hampton, Virginia for the biggest race of the year, the Hampton Heat 200. We are moments away from firing engines, so don't go anywhere. We're back with more after these short messages. back in Hampton, Virginia, live flag-to-flag coverage of the Hampton Heat 200, the biggest stock car race of the year for the late model series. Let's go trackside for pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the Langley Air Force Base Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Greater Discipleship Center Pastor Lance Bacon delivers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you tonight for the opportunity to gather here. We thank you for the men and women who work so diligently to get this track in racing condition. We thank you for the devoted and committed fans that stuck it out and are ready to see a race for the ages. We ask that you bless all the racers and teams as they battle in this arena. We ask for their safety throughout. May every person, every vehicle perform at optimal capacity. We thank you and we seek your blessing on all NASCAR officials, the safety crews, and all of the staff members who are working hard to make this a remarkable day for everyone. We pray for everyone who is in attendance. May families build lasting memories as they share laughter and love on this day. May it be that children in attendance recount this day when they bring their children and grandchildren to their first race at Langley many years from now. May everyone here and watching online be inspired by what they see this day and see the necessity of hard work and teamwork as we chase and achieve our dreams. And as we seek your blessing on this race, we pray that you continue to bless this great nation, overcome this time of difficulty and division, and unite us indeed as one nation under God. We thank you for the grace and blessings bestowed on this land, the inalienable rights given to all, and we thank you for those who defend our freedoms today. We pray your protection, and above all, we thank you for the blessings we receive and the salvation that we have through Jesus Christ our Lord. It is in his name that we pray. Amen.
Now here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Crystal Bacon.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, let's hear it one more time for Crystal Bacon.
How about that? A beautiful rendition of our national anthem. We have prayed, we have sang the national anthem, Kip. There's one more order of business.
It's time to crank up the heat.
That's right, the hottest race in America, America's hottest race, the Hampton Heat, the 16th annual edition, getting ready to come our way in a matter of moments. And drivers have been busy all weekend long getting ready, but I think they're ready for their favorite job now. That's to strap in and let's go racing.
Yeah, now's when all the nerves are kind of coming right up to the top. And as soon as they get the belts on, as soon as they get the helmet on and the net goes up, all of those will go away, and they'll be ready for 200 laps of action.
That's right, getting set to go after it here. And the defending race winner, that's the driver we've talked about, Butterbean, Brendan Queen in car number 03. He's going to start on the outside of row number 1, one of his best qualifying efforts for this race.
Yeah, he even admitted that as much, right? He didn't plan on qualifying that well at all, and so it kind of surprised him that he qualified on the front row on the outside. But on the flip side of that, though, I think Connor Hall was really surprised that he didn't qualify as well as he thought he might.
That's right, and Connor Hall will fire off in the 5th position or inside of row 3 when we drop the green flag here in just a bit. Let's talk about another driver, Josh Berry. He won the 2021 Hampton Heat during driving the junior motorsports car. Now, of course, he's not here racing tonight, but somebody else in that team is racing.
Yeah, Dale Jr.'s climbed in behind the wheel of that car to come and check off one of his bucket list items, and that's to come here and race at Langley in the Hampton Heat.
That's right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his very first start in Hampton. He starts inside of row 6 or in position number 11. We talked about Connor Hall. He's done incredible things over the last couple of years, winning the NASCAR National Division I Championship, went on to win his first Langley Speedway Championship. Oh, by the way, 2024, pretty much the same story. We can't write it over with quite yet because he still has more races to go, but he leads the NASCAR Division I National Championship points for the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, and he happens to lead the ZMAX Cars Tour points too.
I'd say he could probably say he's having one whale of a year, and right now this would be another one of those items he'd like to add to that resume. A win here in this race, his home track here tonight, will go a long way in making it a great season for him.
It indeed will. And this is part of the Virginia Triple Crown. This race, the midway point. Prior to that, it was South Boston Speedway, and then coming up in September at the legendary Martinsville Speedway for the Valley Star Credit Union 300. The driver with the best average finish is declared Virginia Triple Crown champion. They get a $7,000 bonus. Connor Hall leads that right now after his win at South Boston Speedway. We are ready for those most famous words in all of motorsports. Let's go back trackside.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most famous words in motorsports racing, please welcome the Grand Marshal for tonight's Hampton Heat, the Hampton City Council members.
Drivers, start your engine!
You think there's...
The beautiful Musco lighting system. That's always a fun show to see, Kip, when you see those lights dancing in the air.
I'll tell you what, the lights have come so far in such a short period of time. They add so much atmosphere to what is already going to be a great night.
I remember seeing that for the first time when we put lights up, and I say we, I did, but Martinsville Speedway put lights up. I just remember sitting at home enthralled at what I was witnessing on the television.
Yeah, you know what I remember? We were checking lug nuts as the cars came off the racetrack, and they were flashing those lights, and we couldn't see the daggone lug nuts, so it was another feeling for us as officials.
Good stuff. Kip Childress up here in the tower with me. Good evening and welcome to Hampton, Virginia's Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Thanks for tuning into FloRacing, and a special welcome to the great fans who have sold out this evening's festivities. I'm Brian White, and along with Kip Childress, we welcome you to live coverage of the Hampton Heat 200. This evening on Pit Road, you'll hear the voices of Adam Wellbrock and Buck Roos. It's the moment we've been waiting for since last year. We're so glad you could join us for the biggest annual late model stock car race of the year at this historic playground as we continue our 74th season of competition at one of the longest running NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series tracks in the country. Positioned perfectly in coastal southeastern Virginia and directly across from the NASA Langley Research Center. Great weather here finally, Kip, as we got 200 laps in the mid-70s. Drastically different than what we saw earlier today.
Yeah, so it is a little bit cooler, but that won't take anything away from the heat that we'll see on the racetrack tonight, especially as we wind down the laps and we get into that last section of the race when the business will definitely pick up.
That's right. We're going to watch that unfold here tonight. And Adam Wellbrock, you've been down on pit road all afternoon. It's still a little humid, so America's hottest race, while the air temperatures come down, it still may ring true.
That's right, my friend. It's going to be a little bit on the humid side, courtesy of Mother Nature earlier on, but tonight it's all about the action on track. We talked about it earlier, the different characteristics to what that rain brought. The track has been completely wet and clean of the rubber, minus the qualifying laps. So it'll be interesting to see. Also, the support divisions got moved after this race, so that's going to change things a little bit compared to how teams expected the track to be coming into tonight. We'll have to see how that affects teams, but remember, tire conservation is going to be the name of the game. That's going to be all 35 cars think about here for these 200 laps.
Another voice we're going to hear, and we'll actually see him tonight. That's Buck Roos.
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, man, this late model field, stout competitors ready to get it done. Some youngsters making their first late model stock car races ever. And then we've got some veterans making their first ever starts at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. This is going to be a race for the ages, just as it was said during our invocation and pre-race.
Cars beginning to roll here on the front stretch over into turns 1 and 2, and now all throughout the racetrack. Track backs at America's hottest racetrack, Larry King Law's Langley Speedway in Hampton, opened in 1950. A .397 or 4/10 of a mile oval, a relatively flat course with banking just 6 degrees in the turns, 2 degrees on the straightaways. It's a wide course. You'll see cars 2, 3, sometimes 4 wide as they work around this speedway. But certainly, typically, Kip, you're at the bottom of the racetrack.
You are, and you talked about it being flat and only 6 degrees of banking in the corners. The one thing that I've noticed every time I've been here is the fact that the drivers will take advantage of the aprons. Actually, the aprons are a little bit off camber, so they'll put the left front down there. Maybe they'll put all 4 tires down there on that apron to help set the car up to turn better as it comes off the corner. I especially love watching the cars come off of 4 as they jump over where the drain is as they come onto the front straightaway. Cars will get down there to try to take a set or try to just gain a position and use 8 tires instead of 4 as they come to the start-finish line.
We see that quite often here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. They are the past winners of the Hampton Heat. Big notable thing there, most drivers haven't won more than once. Couple drivers have. C.E. Falk has the most with 3, and Brendan Queen, the defending race winner, picked up his second Hampton Heat 200 victory last year. He conquered the first one back in 2020. Will he add his name on this screen for the 3rd time? We're going to find out when the checkers drop, or will we see a new driver emerge from the fold? We'll see at lap number 200. Cars again beginning to roll here on the speedway, getting in position. Shouldn't be too much longer from now. We're going to drop that green flag and go after it here tonight. 200 trips around the racetrack, and you and I talked about this earlier. Not just 200 laps, but 200 green flag laps.
That's exactly right. So, you know, there's a little bit of reservation maybe that will be in the back of their minds because they are having to be mindful of the caution laps and how many of them there are when it comes to maybe fuel mileage. So if you come in for the break and you want to maybe gamble a little bit and put maybe a lighter load of fuel in the car, you're going to run the risk of maybe having more caution laps toward the end of the race. And you don't want to run out of fuel as you run out of laps.
That's right. That's an important note there as well. This is part of the Virginia Triple Crown. Here are the past winners of that. Trevor Ward, the most recent winner in 2023, hoping to add his name to this list as well in 2024. Right now, Trevor Ward, P2 in the Virginia Triple Crown Challenge, right behind the current leader, Connor Hall, who won at South Boston Speedway. This is the midway point for that, and they'll wrap it up again in September. We talked about the past winners of this race. Only 5 are in the field here tonight. Woody Howard, Peyton Sellers, Bobby McCarty, Connor Hall, and Brendan Queen will give it a go here tonight, and there they are on the screen. Others that you see there listed will not be competing tonight. Now, we know you don't necessarily have to start up front to win this race. We documented that early. Of course, 2020 winner Brendan Queen started in 11th spot. 2019 winner Connor Hall started back in 10th. So we'll see. The magic starting spot, I think, is P5. That's where our winner typically comes from. And who starts in the 5th spot here tonight?
Connor Hall.
Connor Hall. So would that surprise you to see him in winner's circle?
Well, it absolutely wouldn't, but it wouldn't surprise me if he would find his way to winner's circle if he's starting 5th or 35th, just given the way that he had to come back from the pack at South Boston a month ago. So, I mean, it's he's able to maintain what he needs to with that race car to make sure that he's around at the finish.
Absolutely. Of course, Connor Hall this year in the Hoosier Driver Late Model Stock Car Series at Langley Speedways won 7 of the 8 races he started. Of course, other winners include Ryan Matthews, who's in. We do have several first-time drivers, and we'll document that as the evening progresses. Here's the starting lineup for the Hampton Heat 200 as we look at it here at Larry King Langley Speedway. And it's actually going to be Mark Wirtz who's going to start this race on the pole position at Langley Speedway. He'll be joined alongside Brendan Queen when we drop the green flag a little bit later on this evening. So again, we'll get you the starting lineup here. We'll get that updated for you. It will be, again, Mark Wirtz and Brendan Queen on row number 1. Chase Burrow and Matt Waltz will make up row number 2 as we document the rest of the starting lineup here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. It'll be Connor Hall and Bobby McCarty on row 3. Row 4 is Ryan Matthews and Sam Yarborough. Row 5 will be Peyton Sellers and Caden Honeycutt. Those are some heavy-hitting names we've just documented.
The whole field's heavy hitters. What are you talking about?
Very good point. 35 incredible drivers. And there is, of course, your top 10 starters here for this event. Again, Mark Wirtz, the veteran racer, 5-time champion here at Langley Speedway, more than 100 victories. He will fire off from the pole position, the defending winner outside of row 1. And we've documented the rest of these drivers as they prepare to do battle here tonight, with Caden Honeycutt starting in position number 10.
Yeah, Caden having a good qualifying effort after having to have an engine change earlier today. So it'll be interesting to see if that change will hold true throughout the entire 200 laps of racing.
Taking it back deeper through the field, starting now inside of row number 6 here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. That's going to be a famous race car driver in the name of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale looking for an opportunity to, again, check this race off of his bucket list, but he's not here just to ride around. He wants to make his way up through the field to get a top 5, a top 3, possibly even he'd love to take that trophy home to Mooresville.
He absolutely would. Casey Wyatt starts in 13th spot. He's made many starts here. He had an engine change earlier this week. Past winner in 2009, Woody Howard will start in 16th spot, and Trevor Ward, who won at Martinsville last year, and as we documented, the Virginia Triple Crown champion last year, starts outside of row 10.
I spoke with Trevor in practice earlier today. He knows that admitted he had a slower car for qualifying. They worked on race setup the entire time because he knows that to be around at the finish, he's got to have a good race car to make all 200 laps, and he's got his eye on that Virginia Triple Crown Championship.
He absolutely does. He wants to get it done for another time here in 2024. Atlee Weiss makes his very first ever late model stock car race, and he does it in the Hampton Heat. Lights have gone off the Toyota Pace Truck. That means we're going green flag racing now in less than a lap. We've waited multiple hours through heavy rain showers. The time has come. The green flag is getting ready to unfurl. The Hampton Heat 200 is underway. Wertz, the pole setter, leads the opening lap. He is on the break by about 2 car lengths now over Brendan Queen. Slotting in the third spot will be Chase Burr on the 00. Meanwhile, Connor Hall going side by side right now with car number 2 as they work off of turn number 4. Buck Rooster back in 1.
Down into turn number 1, a great fight on the outside by Walt. He's going to try to dial up the top side of the track off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. He will do so. He will clear Connor Hall and drop into line through the center of 3 and 4.
Top 7-8 cars, single file. We're still side by side, a little bit deeper in the field, at least inside the top 10. That's where we see 2 cars side by side. Meanwhile, here comes the number 51 entry. Ryan Matthews goes top side to get around. Couple of cars there, including the Matt Waltz race car as he works it off of turn number 4. He has his eyes set now. Adam Wellbrock on the 03 of Brendan Queen.
And Matthews really making that top lane work. He was shot out of a cannon this last trip around. He has the second spot off turn 2 this time around. He's going to set his sights on Mark Wertz. You guys talked about it. Tire conservation is key. We know that top lane a little worse for tires here at Langley Speedway, so got to ask ourselves, how much is Ryan pushing early on, and how much is he saving as we click off these early laps?
If you talked about that a little bit earlier, you only have these 4 tires you started this race with.
Well, that's a fact. And, you know, one thing that we may be seeing here is Ryan taking the opportunity to get up front and maybe even lead some laps if he's not been accustomed to doing that at this level, especially at this race. So Ryan, one of the young guys trying to get up there and put his car out front, maybe set a little bit of a pace. You just never know what he might have up his sleeve.
Well, he knows there's a lot of eyeballs watching this race here at the track and on FloRacing. He wants to make a name for himself and get up there. And we talked about it just a little bit ago. Ryan Matthews has won here at this racetrack in 2024. As we continue on early on, 7 laps in the books here. Mark Wertz setting the pace as we see him stacked up 2 by 2 right near the front of the field from 3rd place on back.
You know, the one car that I saw drop right down to the bottom of the apron was that white number 6 of Bobby McCarty. I had to take a double take when I came onto the property because it's a white number 6. I've been so accustomed to seeing him driving a black car.
Don't you love Buck Roost when they change colors on you, sometimes numbers? It kind of throws the announcers for a little bit of a struggle there.
It does, and like Kip said, you know, seeing Bobby McCarty and the RNS Race Cars folks roll out a white car this weekend for the Hampton Heat. Awesome, and I talked to Bobby about that. He said, I was so thankful when they showed up with the white car because the black cars get so hot inside, and the white cars actually reflect the sun off of them. So he was playing a little peekaboo for a while there with Connor Hall. He looked under him a few times into turn 1. He's still falling in line right now with Sam Yarbrough to the top side of the racetrack on both those drivers.
Watching the cars work around the speedway to put 10 laps on the scoreboard here early on, just 10 in the books, 190 to go. And Mark Wertz setting a blistering pace early on. He's pulled out to a quarter of a straightaway lead over Ryan Matthews. Chase Burrow, another young competitor from just up the road in Central Virginia, finds himself up to 3rd spot. But look at this number 95 race car. That's Sam Yarborough from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, dialing up that high lane as he goes to work on Brendan Queen down the backstretch. Kip, so some good racing, again, inside the top 5.
Exactly, and the one car that's got me puzzled right now is that of Mark Wertz as he's jumped out to quite a significant lead here as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. He's probably being told to dial it back, take it easy. And he's probably telling them he can't take it any easier.
Well, you're right. To your point, that last stop, he was the only car in the 17-second bracket. Everybody else was turning at 18.2.
And he slowed down.
And he listened to us at that point. He realizes he wants those tires under that car near the conclusion of the event. Here they come out of turn number 2. Brendan Queen thinks about making it 3 wide. He thought better of it. Cracked out of the throttle, looked down to the inside briefly for Chase Burrow as we see Burrow in a hot contest right now with Sam Yarborough. They are battling it out for position number 3, Adam, in turns 1 and 2.
And I think Yarborough's been on the top side of the racetrack since the word go. The 95 has been stuck in that outside lane, but he's making good headway here on the 00, trying to go the wrong way around. As he made his way around, Brendan Queen now finds himself side by side with Burrow. He will clear the 00 into turn 1 for the 95. Looking racy early on, he's up to P3.
Kip, you notice we got one car way off the pace, and that was the driver we were looking at, Caden Honeycutt.
Yeah, Caden, you know, they had the engine change earlier this afternoon, just after, actually as practice came to an end and right before qualifying. So you hope that the problem that he's having now is not as a result of that engine change.
Caden Honeycutt was inside the top 10, and he's now going to be the last car in the field, position number 35 for Caden Honeycutt.
And it sounds like he's down a cylinder right now.
And that is not good, especially this early on in the event with just 18 in the books. Watching a good battle here, continue lap after lap. Look at this one. We got the Bobby McCarty car trying to work his way closer to the front. As they work them down over into turns 3 and 4, McCarty has gotten around the 0-3 of Brendan Queen. He brings that car out of turn number 4. Bobby McCarty now is running inside the top 5. He's up to 5th.
Yeah, you know, and I'm still following the Caden Honeycutt car around because the one thing I'm thinking of too, going through an engine change like they did, hopefully it's not a cylinder. Could be just something as simple as a plug line.
It could be, and the fortunate thing these drivers and teams are going to have, at or around the halfway mark, they're going to get a chance to come down and check all that out. So just try your best to stay on the lead lap if possible and catch that break a little bit later on.
Yeah, he'll be definitely trying to do that. Just trying to hang around, keep everybody in sight, and keep a good look on that rearview mirror and make sure he doesn't go a lap down.
Adam, as we continue to see cars side by side from about 4th on back, look at this battle. Adam Wellbrock down on pit road as we watch these cars continue lap after lap. And Kip, we've got the 17 down on pit road.
Yeah, it doesn't look real good. I'm sure the team will go right under the hood and see if it is something as simple as a plug wire. But you can't lose too many laps on pit road before you're taking yourself right out of contention for tonight's race.
The fortunate thing for him is he's the only car lap down. If he was able to come back out, he would take advantage of the free pass if we got a caution flag. But unfortunately, this doesn't look like to be a quick trip down pit road.
Yeah, I'll let you know from my vantage point from down here towards the start-finish line, he's already dropped the window net as well.
So it looks like his night is going to be done.
And actually, guys, we're just looking under the hood, but Caden said, fired back up. He said, do the window net up, guys. We're going to go back out. So quick turnaround for the 17. Whatever issue it was seems to have resolved itself.
Unfortunate thing for him is he's already lost a couple now, make it 3 laps. So it's going to be a long, long night for car number 17, a driver who has won here at Hampton in the Cars Tour event, Caden Honeycutt. It's going to be a long night, Kip, for him.
It will be, but if he can stay out of trouble and maintain his patience, he'll have an opportunity to make up some laps depending on how many cars go laps down in the course of the race.
Watching the 55 CorvetteParts.net Chevrolet working through turns 3 and 4, your pole setter who has run a blistering pace thus far, has a straightaway lead now over the 8th place starting car, Sam Yarborough, who finds himself up to 2nd spot. There's the interval between 1st and 2nd. And Buck, that's a pretty healthy margin for the 55.
Yeah, I tell you, he's still running that right at an 18-second lap around the racetrack, a 17.67 last time, this time an 18.265. So he's really slowed it down. He's going to start backing off that throttle a little bit. A couple of drivers I watched as Peyton Sellers drove up inside the top 4, then went ahead and pulled up to the top of the racetrack, dropped back to 6th. So he's trying to see exactly what his Danville Toyota had underneath the hood. But the mover right now, I'm watching Aiden Millette, he is up into the top 5 with that number 9 machine.
On the 9, Aiden Millette has done big things here at this racetrack that he calls the home track. Now has himself up into the 5th spot as he takes it back to 3 and 4, just behind Ryan Matthews in car number 51 and just ahead of Peyton Sellers in the 26 race car. But I want to go Kip back to Mark Wirtz, the race leader, and how well he's running here at the moment. It's like we talk about many drivers, it's Denny Hamlin, who's won just about everything but a championship. And this driver, Mark Wirtz, has won just about everything, including 5 championships here, 2 NASCAR regional championships, but he's not gotten a Hampton Heat trophy.
I'll tell you, the one thing he's able to do right now, because he does have such a healthy lead, is he can back up the corners so much and just roll the corners. He's not having to push. He's not getting any pressure from behind. So it would surprise me if he's lifting just past start finish heading into 1, and likewise heading into 3, lifting probably about center ways down the back straightaway.
No surprise that Mark's running like he is. We watched him on the leaderboard on Friday in practice earlier today. That car was right at the top, fastest yesterday, and among the fastest here today. Mark Wirtz, who was elated to win the pole award. We watched him climb from that race car, lots of hugs following qualifying, and right now he continues to lead and set a blistering pace early on, just 32 laps in the books, working the 33rd circuit. And right now, Buck, he has a clean racetrack, but it won't be long. He's going to catch the back half of this field.
Yeah, luckily he has a big cushion right now once he does catch the back of the field, which will include Caden Honeycutt's machine back there racing, trying to get through the field and trying to unlap himself at least one lap with Woody Howard dropped back as well. He just jumped to the middle of the racetrack, and they were splitting him 3 wide a couple of times with that 41 Ford. And Terry Carroll, Brandon Pierce, Adley Weiss, and Gio Waltrip, they're all right ahead of that 55 machine.
Watching Chase Burrow, who started up in the 3rd spot. Right now, the 00 car finds himself in 15th position. Make that 14th as they work down the backstretch. He's got good company back there as he rides with Cody Bryant. And it's not just about a couple of positions higher is where you find Brendan Butterbean between the defending race winners. They fire him back over into turns 1 and 2. But I think a lot of this is just conserve, as we've talked about it, but how important it is to not abuse your equipment.
Well, that's a fact. What we've seen drop back is the 3 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. as he's finding himself back, last time I checked, around 18th or 19th position. But that's what those guys have done. They've just kind of settled in. They're making laps right now. But we've seen the 77 of Trevor Ward make some advances forward. Dale Jr., Butterbean, a couple of them, maybe have slipped, or Chase Burrow as well, slipping back. They're just trying to find out what their car is going to do right now. Again, making those middle notes, relaying their messages to their crew chiefs so they can plan for the break that'll be coming up at lap 100.
That's right, just 37 in the books. And Adam, I think at this point of the race, drivers beginning to really understand what they have under these race cars.
Yeah, and relaying that information to their crews down here in the pit so they can make those minor adjustments at this 15-minute lap 100 break. I tell you guys, up front, it's a hornet's nest from 2nd to about 5th or 6th. These guys keep swapping positions, keep going to the outside and trading spots. Sam Yarborough, Ryan Matthews, Aiden Millette, Peyton Sellers, and others. Bit of a freight train starting to form as they battle for position. Looks like Matthews is going to pass Yarborough for that spot.
There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Contact is made between himself and the 77 of Trevor Ward as the cars spin over in turns 1 and 2. That's going to put us under our first caution flag of the night. The defending Virginia Triple Crown champion Trevor Ward with problems down in 1 and 2. And it looked like he may have checked up. Earnhardt Jr. couldn't get woed down quick enough and got in the back of Trevor Ward, but we'll have to check that out here. Caution flag number 1 flies here at lap number 39 after big-time problems buckaroos in 1 and 2.
Yeah, you can see the nose is folded in on Dale Jr.'s car. Like you said, some of these drivers checking up a little bit more than others going into corners, and that could have been an accordion effect that probably came all the way back and just caught him off guard, and he catches the back end of the 77 machine. But man, it's a terrible break for the 77 because they're all out there just trying to save tires right now, but race at the same time. And now the 55 machine, all that advantage, she gone.
And Trevor Ward was running at about 19th position. Earnhardt Jr. about 20th as we look at the FloRacing replay. We'll take you back here into turns 3 and 4. There's Trevor Ward in the 77, Earnhardt Jr. in the number 3. And there you see, maybe the 77 kit may have woed down just a little bit. And these cars don't have brake lights on them, so you don't know if the driver ahead of you has really slowed down, and sometimes until it's too late.
Well, that's for sure. It looked like he had Carter Langley right ahead of him as he got into 1 and 2. We don't know because it's just out of the frame if Carter was slowed down. Chase Burrow was up there as well, and it was just a chain reaction deal, and sadly it was one that sent the 77 car around.
That's right. So Trevor Ward did go around. Fortunately, didn't hit anything. Earnhardt Jr. may have the worst of the wears, as we just heard from Buck Bruce, that the front end maybe caved in just a bit. But we also saw Danny Harrell in the CarMaster's number 95 Chevrolet making his Hampton Heat debut. That car almost went around after Justin Carroll got in the back of him, so that was a chain reaction deal. But Adam, early on, we had problems at lap 39.
And it just goes to show you drivers maybe not pushing it a lot can still bring issues. These guys, as you mentioned, just kind of riding around, feeling out what they have, and just goes to show you, even when they're on track, just kind of riding, things can be very, very uncomfortable at times when they check up like that very quickly. Things unfold, and unfortunately for the 77, that's going to cost him his track position and going to make a little bit of a longer night for him. But of course, we're still not even halfway, so a lot of time left for the defending Triple Crown winner.
Kim, let's talk about the front of that race car for Dale Earnhardt Jr. How concerned are you with that?
Right up where the hood pins meet the bumper, connecting it to the leading edge of the hood. Not so much worried about that, other than the fact that we do start to see the hood start flapping around a bit. But the grill opening is way down low on the bumper cover, so as long as the grill opening is not obstructed, he won't have to worry about that much at all.
Okay, so it could be very minimal for Dale Earnhardt Jr. here, as right now he is being scored in position number 21 and we'll check that. Of course, that all could change because we'll get the CarMaster's Choose Zone. That is the V that's painted just prior to the start-finish line. Drivers will elect to go to the inside or outside. The preferred lane is on the inside, but with this many cars, you're probably going to see, like we see the NASCAR Top National Touring Series, you'll elect to go left or right, and most people will try to go to stay in position. So we'll see how that unfolds here in just a bit. Earnhardt Jr. From Mooresville, North Carolina, the Bass Pro Shops #3 Chevrolet here making his Langley Speedway debut.
Yeah, the challenge that they're having right now is because there are so many cars in this field. The pace truck literally right behind the car that's running order, so it makes it really tough to get the caution laps to go nice and smooth. It is a challenge that they will face, and it probably not remedy until maybe some attrition occurs.
Got another car there, Buck Roos down on pit road. That's Dean Shiflin.
Yeah, Shiflin coming down pit road. They left a little bit of the tape accidentally on there from qualifying, so they're popping that off. He was starting to see some temperatures raise up, and his brake fans were not doing exactly what they were supposed to do to that left side of the car, and that was because tape was still covering it up. I want to take a few moments while we are under caution to mention Roy Hendrick, son of Ray Hendrick, Mr. Modified. Roy has been hospitalized with health issues, so we want to send out our prayers to him and his family and everybody on hopefully some speedy recovery on whatever they're going through. We send our love and prayers to Rapid Roy Hendrick.
So again, under the first caution flying here this evening at lap number 39, Winston-Salem, North Carolina's Trevor Ward went for a spin down in turns 1 and 2 after contact between himself and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Likely, the result, Trevor Ward had to probably crack out of the throttle because there were cars battling fast and furious just ahead of him, and that was most likely a chain reaction deal. We did see Danny Harrell almost go for a spin after he and Justin Carroll got together down in turns 1 and 2, and that's what happens on a short track on a Saturday night. All it takes is one driver to get out of the throttle when you're bunched up like that, and it can wreak havoc.
Yeah, you know, and one thing I noticed too is that when Trevor did spin up there, he got kind of hemmed up on the hinge point from the track down to the apron. Luckily, he stayed out of the grass. With all the rain that we've had throughout the course of the afternoon, if you get in the grass, chances are you're probably going to need a hook to get out.
You're going to be stuck because Buck Roos, we had, inches of rain fall here in a very short time.
Yeah, we had a lake down here technically in 3 and 4. Matter of fact, right in the center of 3 and 4, we were trying to unclog the drain, and it was literally thigh deep down in 3 and 4 where all the water collected. Now the drains are in great areas, but the problem was enough debris had clogged the drain that it had to be unclogged. So once they did that, it sort of went down there. And of course our friends from South Boston Speedway and Richmond Raceway with the jet dryers and their machines came in and helped us out along with all of our tow vehicles and emergency vehicles. And man, it was a wholesale helping that we had going on out here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway to make sure this 16th Hampton heat would go off tonight.
And we see the water down in the pit area along the back straightaway, and it was quite a bit of rain, but fortunately the showers have moved out to sea, and we are racing here this evening. If you're just tuning in, we do know it is after 11:37 Eastern time, but we are in the early stages of the Hampton Heat 200. Our support divisions will be coming up here following the Hampton Heat, including the Super Street, Super Trucks, and the 6-cylinder Pro 6 cars. They'll be out later on this evening. 2 more laps, and we will go back green flag racing. Remember, only green flag laps do advance the score on the scoreboard for the lap counter, that is. So again, under the caution, these laps are not counting. Drivers taking advantage of the CarMaster's Choose Zone, and no surprise, the pole setter, the driver who led prior to the caution coming out, that being Mark Wirtz, chose the inside. Ryan Matthews went topside, while second place is Sam Yarborough elected to go to the inside, so he'll restart this event in position number 3. Kip, how important from your vantage point is the inside lane?
Yeah, I think the inside lane here is important because it is a flat track. And so one thing, though, is that early on in the race, you're going to probably try to feel out which lane is going to work better for your car, and again, make those mental notes for later on in the race. We saw 2 and 3 wide racing throughout the course of the first 39 laps of this race. We've seen it happen back in June with the car. I think right now they're just trying to get a good notebook built to figure out which lane they want to be in later on in tonight's race.
Taking a look at who starts outside of row number 2. That's Peyton Sellers. He's advanced 7 positions in the early stages of this event, or at least 5, I should say, as he'll restart this event in position number 4. Always somebody to keep your eyes on, Peyton Sellers.